What's up, everybody, and welcome to our first podcast. This is a little change from the videos that I've done in the past. I'm going to stick mostly to podcasts, I believe, because I think we have the most audience here, so that's cool. After a couple weeks past the new decade, we have a topic to discuss. One of those is I've had quite a little bit of time to think about it, and I think it's time that we made our all-decade team going from January 1st of 2010 until December 31st, 2019. Obviously, all-decade wouldn't be the same without LeBron James. Obviously, LeBron has been the best player of the decade, and it's been not even close. For me to have to even describe what it is that LeBron has, that we are, trying to figure out. He's LeBron James. If you have been living under a rock for the last 10 years, you still have heard of LeBron James from before that. Like, LeBron has been the best player for the last 12-ish years. Secondly on that list, you have to go with the number 2 always, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has been incredible. He won an MVP, he won a Finals MVP, he has a championship, numerous All-NBA teams. He's been a leader on every team. Even that Golden State Warriors team, he was the man there. And Steph even said himself that he subsided to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is arguably the best scorer of all time. He is 7 feet tall, damn near, with range, with handles, with quickness, with bounce. He's got deadly jumpers from any spot on the floor. Kevin Durant. Third on that list, and it's an arguable third, we can go Stephen Curry, or we can go Dwayne Wade. Now, Dwayne Wade, I think maybe at the end of 2009-ish was kind of his prime. He did play, quite a long time after, so, obviously Dwayne Wade is still pretty great. I do think Stephen Curry has had more dominant of a decade, setting damn near every 3-point record available, leading that Warriors team without KD, to success. We have, he had, obviously great role players, one of the best two-way players in Klay Thompson. He had Harrison Barnes before KD. He had still had Iggy. David Lee, Andrew Bogut. He had a solid team, but still the things that he was able to accomplish has been incredible. The best shooter of all time by far. Fifth on that list, all decade, we'd have to say Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a 2-time champion. He's had numerous All-Stars and All-NBAs and numerous All-Defensive teams. Also won Defensive Player of the Year. Kawhi Leonard, nobody expected him to be here, but he is. I'd say for the last 5-6 years of the decade, he was very prevalent. Just recently is having his jersey retired at San Diego State University. The Spurs traded George Hill for Kawhi Leonard. And not saying anything against George Hill, because I think George Hill is fantastic. But Kawhi Leonard is elite. Elite. Next on our list, we want to go big man here. And for me, it's between big man and point guard. We can go Chris Paul, or we can go Dwight Howard. Chris Paul is a generational point guard, probably third or fourth of all time on point guards. Again, numerous All-NBAs, numerous All-Stars. Killed it on the Clippers. Now he's killing it on OKC. Chris Paul, he just seems to never get old. He's continuously plugging away, getting his points, getting his assists, playing really great defense, and he's like 35 years old now. Good for him. Dwight Howard resurrected his career with the Lakers. Awesome. But that's not why he's on the all-decade team. Dwight Howard, for the first half of this decade, was a monster. In the first half of this decade, still had 2 Defensive Players of the Year, was a 5-time all-defensive team, a 5-time All-NBA player, and he was a force, and by far the best center in the league for half the decade. Next on our list, Kobe Bean Bryant. Still, Kobe, even though he was way past his prime, he seemed like his prime stretched years. Kobe still was putting together buckets and buckets and buckets while playing great defense and being the man on the Lakers team. That was awful. Kobe, even till his last game, proved that he was ready to kill anybody in the NBA. He could take you off the dribble. He could dunk on your head. He could hit the mid-range. He could hit the 3. He could kill you from the foul line. Kobe, no matter what, was always a dog. Defensively, you couldn't match his intensity. Kobe was always there ready to win. Multiple All-Star, multiple All-NBA, multiple All-Defense. That is my all-decade team. Now, if you guys have any people that you think I left off, obviously, I think Embiid and Karl-Anthony Towns and Jokic and Giannis, Harden, I think all of these guys are awesome. And I think in the next decade, they obviously are all going to be on my list. But for this decade, we had to go all the way back to the very beginning of 2010. That's where I see this decade starting, and there was so much dominance there that people are being overlooked now for what they have in today's NBA. With Harden is killing it, Cat is killing it, Embiid, everybody. I can even say Ben Simmons is having a really great second half or second quarter of his year. But we're not focusing so much on the now because the now is so short. It's just very prevalent in our minds. So we have a very, very deep list of players that were just outstanding. And that's where I think it ends. And we will continue on the next podcast. Until then, bleed purple and gold, my friends.